Hi, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is going to be just a overview and testing of this unit that we repaired for a customer. This is an older model. It's called a Gallagher M250. It's a 2.5 stored joule unit, so output joules probably 1.5 to 2, I would say. I don't know, somewhere between 1 and 1.5 maybe on the lower end. So not a real hard-hitting unit. I mean, they made bigger ones back in this day, but this is still a pretty reliable unit, pretty good unit for what it's designed to do. You know, it does a good job. Let's see, this unit is a 2002 model. I think they started making this model, it used to be in a brown tan colored case, but the later ones were black. Same guts, maybe newer looking guts on the later ones, but they operated the same way as the older versions. So I think started making it back in the early mid-90s, and then they shut them, stopped making about 2002, 2005, probably at the later end, maybe 2004. But it's still a good little unit. I mean, it's not a real hard-hitting unit, like I said, but it's old school Gallagher, and that's this generation is what helped put them on the map between this mid-late 80s and through the early 2000s. That's the generation that really got Gallagher out in front of everybody when it come to their product. But there's new stuff's now still really good too, as well. Just I like this old stuff. But we'll get in this unit. This has 2 little lights on. It has one green light that lights up here. This is like your power light, tells you, hey, the power's on. Little green light. And over here is your fence light. So, and it flashes red with every pulse. So if this light's flashing, yeah, if this light is flashing when it's hooked to the fencing ground, then it usually means that you're good to go and the fence, there's no shorts dragging it down. Now if you walk by another day and this light's not flashing and hooked to the fencing ground, that could mean that you got a pretty bad short on it. You know, you always want to test your fence, see what kind of voltage you're getting on the fence with the electric fence tester. If you're getting, couple thousand volts out of it, and that's that's why this light's not flash. It takes about 3,000 volts or so to make this light flash. If you unhook your fencing ground from the unit and plug it back in, all of a sudden this light goes to flashing. You put your tester across the terminals. Now you're getting 6,000 volts or more out of it. Okay, this unit's fine. I've got some kind of bad issue out on my fence somewhere dragging it down. So, but we'll get into this thing and I'll show you how it works and open it up so you can see the inside of it and see what it looks like and such. We were able to repair the board in this thing. This got hit by lightning a little bit on the power cord side. We were able to repair that section of the board, replace some components on the board, and got it back going again. So it saved the customer quite a bit of money. They make a smaller one and a bigger one of this model, of this size. They make an M160 nowadays, and they make an M360. So this is right in between. So, but we were able to save a bunch of money by repairing the board versus replacing the board. So luckily, we were able to do that. But as we get into this thing and showing you a little bit about it, please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to, and hit that thumbs up button as well. And if you got an old Gallagher unit, or a new Gallagher unit, or an old unit from another brand that's 60 plus years old, or anything in between, we work on all that stuff. I don't care how old it is, what brand it is, plug-in battery, solar, I don't care. We'll take a look at it. We give you a free quote. We don't charge you anything for looking at it. And if we do fix something, we put a 1.5 year warranty on the repairs. And lightning damage is part of our warranty, even on a 60-year-old unit. If lightning hits it 9 months from now, if we can't fix it for some reason, if we can't fix it, we'll give you all your money back. And then you can just take that money and you can buy buy something new. But if we can fix it, and if it goes out of warranty, if it's in our warranty and is repairable, we'll fix it at no charge, of course. Well, let's get into this thing. I'm going to hook up my meter here to it. I'm also going to hook a load to it here in a second, but we'll see what the max voltage here with no fence, no ground, just unit running wide open basically with no stress on it. There's a little green power light, and there's your little red light that flashes with every pulse, if you can see it. and we're getting looks like about 8.5 kV, so between 8 and 9,000 volts coming out of it. Now we're going to put a standard load on it, which is 500 ohms, and we're going to see what it drops to. Probably, I would say, probably in between 5 and 6, or 6 and 7. I don't know, somewhere in that range. No, we're just about 5,000. So we're hitting about 5,000 volts roughly with the 500 ohm load, and the light's still flashing. Now we'll take a little bit heavier load, which is I think 150 ohms. So this ought to really drag it down. This may even make the light go out. Yep. With the 150 ohm load, you see how much it dragged it down by? It went from 8,500 volts roughly down to about 2,500 volts. And the red light is not flashing anymore. So this would tell you as you're walking by, say you test your fence one day, you walk by one day and the red light's flashing, and 2 weeks later you walk by and the light's not flashing anymore. You're like, what the heck's going on with my unit? The only way to know for certain what's going on is if it's a unit or your fence. Go to the fencing, to the unit, unplug it, disconnect your fence and ground from it. That way there's no stress, and plug it back in. If you plug it back in, all of a sudden the light goes to flashing on it. That typically means you've got a bad short in your fence, because it takes about 2,500, 3,000 volts to make that light flash. And so you've got to have at least that much on the fence to really, still have a chance of keeping the animals in place, or keeping animals out if you're trying to protect something. But it's a good little unit. I like these old Gallagher units. These are pretty, straightforward units. There's nothing to them. The way that they operate. I mean, a couple of knobs here at the bottom, and red and green light on the front. The green light's just a dummy light, tells you, hey, the power's on. But that's a neon bulb. The bulb burns out, but the red light's still flashing. The power's still on. So we'll pop this unit open. So we were able to fix the old board that was in here. Like I said, it had a blown fuse. It has a spare fuse inside, but we've got plenty of new fuses, so we just threw a new fuse in there. Keep the spare on in case the customer needs to replace it in the future. But it had a blown capacitor on it. Had some other parts on the board that were bad. And it just took a little trial and error to go through the board and make sure what was bad. We've got new boards for them. We could have put a new board in there and been a lot more money, but I always try to fix the old boards. If they don't look too bad, it's worth the shot to try to fix the old boards, because it's a lot cheaper to do. It's just, save a bunch of money. I mean, anybody can pull a new old board out, stick a new board in, and boom, you're done. But if you can fix the old board, man, you save yourself 80-90% of the cost of a new board. So, why not try to fix the board and save a customer some money? It's still good. We still have the same warranty, 1.5 years on it, whether we put a new board in it or repair the board. The unit's still got a 1.5 years warranty on it. So, we're here to try to save money on the repair versus, charging a customer a bunch of money on doing something. So, that's what we're all about. There's a little capacitor on the side there that sits right down in here. It plugs into the board, so that's what gives you your joules and this discharge and all that stuff. And then you got your transformer over here. That's what spikes the voltage up, spits it over to your fence. But those transformers in these things, man, they hardly ever go bad. And Gallagher's still using that style of transformer on a lot of current units. Maybe a little variation different, but the internals are very similar. This is, they started using that style of transformer in their units, golly, back in the 80s probably on some of their stuff, maybe 80s, 90s, and they're still using them because they hardly ever go bad. I've opened up units before, the board's completely covered in black soot, like it just got dumped in a bucket of charcoal dust or whatever. And the board's shot, of course. Take the new old board out, stick a new board in, and it goes back to work. And those transformers, unless they are cracked or split, or the wires coming out of them are broken, these transformers hardly ever go bad. Like I had that one time, board was all black. Pulled the board out, tossed the board, and it had a little bit of black dust on the terminal. I took a Dremel wire brush deal and cleaned off the dust, blew off the excess dust black dust out of the unit. Capacitor was still okay. Put the new board in it, and it went back to work. And so the board took 95% of the blunt force of whatever lightning hit it at. But those transfers are pretty, I mean, I wouldn't say bulletproof, but they're doggone close. But if you've got a unit like this, you know, a Gallagher M250 or another Gallagher, big or small, or another brand, big or small, you know, we work on everything. I said, plug in battery, solar, I don't care what it is, we'll work on it. And, you know, give you a free quote and year and a half warranty on the repairs. Nice little zap from it. Well, hopefully you liked the video. I mean, subscribe if you like. Ask us questions. Comment on stuff. Go to our website and find out a little more about us. Our website is fencerfixer.com. And Fencer and Fixer is both spelled with an F as in Frank. Find out about what we do, what we work on. I mean, electric fence, we work on boatloads of boxes for people. You know, big, small, everything in between. Old, new, all that kind of fun stuff. But, you know, subscribe to our channel, hit the thumbs up, like I was saying. But, you know, until we do another video of how to fix something or show you one that's worked on and working again, you know, we will see you guys later.